Mike Brown representing CoLab. We appreciate the continuance and the opportunity to be able to participate in any further development. If it occurs, we think that revisiting the EIR and some of the alternatives presents an opportunity for discussion. So thank you very much.
Hi, I just wanted to say I appreciate Supervisor Hill suggesting that we delay this. We can get a little more input to the research. I think that's great. We appreciate being more involved in this process, and that's a good call. Voting no today would make me happy, but continuing, it's great. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thank you. Friedman, San Luis Obispo. Capitalism is the system in which if you want something, you offer something else up in exchange of adequate value. There's a willing buyer and there's a willing seller. Collectivism is the system in which if you want something, you just take it. You pass a law, or you get someone else to pass a law to take it. While these ordinance changes don't actually confiscate people's property, they do authorize the taking control of people's property. And that is taking a property. So if anyone on this board would like control of property in this county, more property in this county in ag land, then you can make an offer to the owners, offer up something in exchange. Don't just take the property. When you go into a grocery store, do you walk in and grab all the items you want and walk out? I don't think so. You offer something for those items. That's what happens in a free market, in a free society. Willing buyer, willing seller, people make willing exchanges. Now, what's going on here is going to prompt a lot of talk about Agenda 21. I'm sure you're going to hear plenty about that later, and rightfully so. Because if you read the God knows how many pages that are in Agenda 21, you'll hear what it's calling for is worldwide collectivism. So if you don't want to keep hearing about Agenda 21, then you can simply stop implementing collectivism in this county, and changes to this ordinance is a great place to start. It doesn't need to be continued, it doesn't need to be passed, staff doesn't need to spend any more time working on it. You can just drop the item right now.
Thank you. I continue I support the continuance. I'm like Randall, I'd rather you just vote on it today and not continue it, but I'll take the continuance. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Yes, point of clarity, please. If I speak at this time, do I waive my right to speak on this issue at another one of these meetings?
Absolutely not. You don't waive your right to speak.
Very well.
When we have
I misunderstood what you had said earlier. I do favor the continuance. I also agree with Mr. Thompson that maybe we should just vote it down. I disagree with the individual that's stood up here and asked for like total engagement of trying to attack people that are saying stuff in front of this board. That would only encourage more people to come forward and not get along. And I don't believe that's what this board is all about. The people that have stood up here and spoke, I commend them very much. And do ask that you, as supervisors, develop some type of a plan to get more people involved. And it's not, and I agree with the lady that it's our duty to pay attention. I, for one, am going to start paying more attention to what is trying to be passed at this board. I agree so much with what the lady said and directed to Mr. Gibson. I apologize, Mr. Gibson, but I believe we need to get some priorities in order. Thank you very much.
Am I the last one? I don't have to.
Well, actually, no. You're
right in the middle. You're the last one as a carryover.
Thank you,
Let
Chairman
people
Patterson.
come in. I'm
Thank
gonna go
you,
to the list.
supervisors. I appreciate the opportunity to speak before you today. Having been an applicant in this process, I can tell you that I probably won't ever do another one. I particularly wouldn't be able to do one if this ordinance were passed as it is today. And three of the major, at least three, possibly four of the major ag clusters that have been done in the past, including the original one, could not be done today if you pass this ordinance. And I appreciate Supervisor Hill taking the lead on continuing this. And I appreciate the fact that if you went to your district and spoke to the folks that live in Varian, Tally, and Edna, that they could tell you just how much they love the place they live. And also encourage you to leave the ag cluster in its present form and encourage staff that, to support the applicant when they actually do everything that it says in the ordinance, to support them because it is a painful process in its present form, and if you do anything, please improve it and support the continuance. Thank you very much, and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Thank you, Mr. Phil.
Thank you very much. Board, thank you for hearing me. Frank, hello. Frank and I have been friends for 30 years now. I am not for continuing this. You need to vote this down. You need to end this today. These continuances, basically all that they do is they give you more of an opportunity to dilute the public and keep us from coming to these meetings. My wife and I had to take off work today. We have one of the few construction companies in this county that actually has some work. And we had to leave today and come here to sit on this ag cluster. Doug Filipponi is right. It's not so much you guys, and I will say that there are certain of you that have an agenda. Your staff, you have people on the planning staff of this county that are socialists. And you need to look at that staff, you need to purge that staff. They're giving you bad information and they're bringing things forward to this board that are taking away the rights of your citizens. And you need to stop that. So thank you for continuing it, but you should just vote it down today.
Mr. Lynn.
Thank you. As a fourth generation farmer in North County, I'm just against all this planning. It seems like that we're having to defend ourselves against the government. It just does not seem right. I'm against this whole thing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Elsa Dawson, San Luis Obispo. I want to thank and agree with our three esteemed supervisors who believe in the continuation, and I appreciate their position. As for the fourth supervisor, I'm afraid that he has lost through his actions any respect I may have in his opinion, although I share a concern, as he says, but my concern is more for his motivation in pushing through this ag cluster. Too many of us have been preoccupied with work, with our family, with our future, and we fail to recognize what our decisions are that we need to make today. Well, we're regaining our focus, and our purpose is to become more and more proactive as needed. Thomas Jefferson said, "In questions of power, let no more be heard of confidence in man, but bind him down from mischief by the chains of the Constitution." There are many of us who feel that this ordinance, this subdivision ordinance, is mischief. It is not in our best interest, and we encourage you, supervisors, to uphold the Constitution. I appreciate that there will be more notification going out. We did not receive notification. We're property owners, and we don't read the newspaper. We don't have time for fiction. So this is a dramatic issue, and we need notification so that we can vote on or speak to something that's going to change our lives forever. What it actually feels like is a violation of our Fourth Amendment rights, an overreaching government confiscating our private property. And as far as compensation goes, please. Okay. Winston Churchill had an interesting quote. Men occasionally stumble over the truth, but most of them pick themselves up and hurry off as if nothing had happened. Well, we've stumbled over some truth, and we're not hurrying off. Those of us who still believe in the Constitution are going to roll up our sleeves and work for it. So we are encouraging you to be the uncommon, the courageous leadership that we need in this county. We urge you to be an influence for local power and for authority to bring back the constitutional rights that we have. We appreciate your position, and we vigorously urge you to vote against this damaging and debilitating ordinance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Dawson.